So, I made a mistake. This last weekend, I unintentionally violated official LSS Tournament Policy by, as a TO, playing in our Skirmish event. That said, ignorance of the rules is not an excuse, and just as I expect honesty and integrity from others, I hold myself accountable to an even higher standard. In today's video, I'm issuing an apology to the folks who attended the Gongaii Games Skirmish last weekend, discussing what happened, how it happened, and the sanctions I am self-imposing for the violation. Hey there, Commandos, and welcome back to Dice Commando. Thanks for checking in today. Now, I realize to some, this video may seem unnecessary, silly, or any other number of things, and I do get that. But I find in times like this, it's best to be upfront and to get in front, lest the wrong impressions be given. It's important to me that I do this publicly because I think A, it's necessary to hold myself to the same high standards that I expect of myself and of our community, and B, the transparency around it is necessary to avoid any confusion, anything, right? So in the spirit of today's cast, this video is not monetized on my end at least, as capitalizing on this financially would certainly not be in the spirit of what I'm trying to do. And it's also important to point out here that I am self-reporting. To be 100% clear, no one has filed a complaint, and I myself am actually the one that caught this violation just this morning, actually, while looking over the tournament policy for another item I was researching. So first, what happened? How did it happen? Last Saturday, we had the Season 5 skirmish at Gongaii in Portland. I was both the TO and the judge for the event. Now, typically with large events like pre-releases or skirmishes, in the past I've elected not to play. The reason for this is that primarily needing to address judge calls or other duties can make it difficult to play and often unfair to my opponents. This weekend, however, I very much wanted to play because with my schedule it was likely to be the only skirmish I was going to be able to attend this season. So I arrived that day ready to play if the scenario seemed amenable, which it did. Everyone who showed up on Saturday I knew from the community, and I did not expect them to have any issues with me playing or with someone questioning my motives. We also had an odd number of participants, to which adding me would make an even number to prevent buys. So I made the call on Saturday to play. So that's what happened. Now, I was mistakenly under the impression that playing was an option for me that day. The reason for this is that a skirmish event is a Tier 1 event, which is deemed as a casual level event. Being a casual level event is an important distinction as applies to rules and penalty enforcements for that event. Another trait of casual level events, such as your weekly armories, is that the tournament organizer and or judge or whomever is allowed to play or be classified as a competitor. So whereas I can play during our armory events because a skirmish was the same tier, I had just autopiloted to think that I could play in the skirmish. And this is where I went wrong, because I had overlooked a sentence right here in the roles and responsibilities section of the tournament rules and policy, one which specifically calls out skirmish as being an exception to the casual level as applied to event staff. So while it remains casual for the players and rule enforcement, there is a special exception for TOs, judges, and so on. So having been unaware of this, I did not intend to do anything wrong, and I believed prior to finding out this morning that I was following the rules. But again, ignorance is not an excuse, and my oversight does not change the fact that I violated official policy on Saturday. And for any out there questioning, well, I'm sure you've read it before if you've truly read the rules, you're not wrong. I almost certainly have read the sentence before, but either it didn't register or I just plain forgot about it. There was no misintent here. So to those impacted at the Gongaii Games skirmish on August 6th, you have my sincerest apology. Hopefully you understand what happened and that there was no ill intent. But regardless, I really am truly sorry for having broken the rules. I did not meet the expectations of myself nor what you've come to expect from me, and for that I really do apologize. Now, in consistency with my high expectations for myself, I'm self-imposing a 1-month suspension for TOing events, effective today. I will resume my regular TO duties at Gongaii on September 10th. For the Gongaii players, this does not mean that the regularly scheduled Saturday armories are canceled. I've already identified a backfill who will be stepping in to take over those duties. And again, the Gongaii OP events will continue on the normal schedule. I will, of course, accept any additional sanctions from LSS if deemed necessary, but it is my hope that given the situation and the self-reporting, that the matter can be considered closed. And certainly, if any sanctions do need to be issued, they should be issued against me and not Gongaii. The community, the Gongaii community, the Portland player base should not suffer for my mistake. So again, to everyone, I want to apologize for what happened here. Again, it's my hope that you understand it was not malicious nor intentional, and my hope is that we can move forward in a month's time to continue to build our community. Thank you, everyone, and go Commando.